Ah, don't you just love the aroma of a Spanish cedar filled humidor just brimming with prime tobacco? It's a glorious thing. But cigar humidors aren't your only option when it comes to storing, preserving, and collecting cigars. There are other options out there, with the traditional cigar box being a number one pick. And here's why. Like most other hobbyists out there, fledgling cigar smokers typically start off on, well, the more timid end of the purchasing spectrum. You're not going to get guys that go headfirst and buy a hardcore temperature controlled LED lit humidor that costs over $1,000 right to begin with and just slap a bunch of cigar boxes in it. Most people will start small. And by that, I also mean free. Many novice cigar smokers, who just often happen to be college kids with a very limited bankroll, shall we say, end up utilizing something like this to store their cigars in, the classic cigar box. But whereas some may shun the notion of utilizing a simple cigar box as a method of long-term preservation in regard to cigars and collecting cigars, there are those of us that actually kind of prefer the classic cigar box, and not just one type. But before you hop down to your local brick and mortar and just snag any box sitting on the shelf and try and utilize it as a makeshift humidor, you probably should familiarize yourself with, well, the ingredients of a good cigar box, as well as, well, what each one can offer, because there are a bunch of different styles of cigar box, just like there are so many different styles of cigar. Starting things off is the classic cheapy box, which is, like most premium cigar boxes, made from Spanish cedar, but it's often covered up in different types of packaging material, as you can clearly see, and can't really see the wood, and you can smell a little bit, but it's usually the cheapest, flimsiest stuff imaginable. Shall we say, because it's not very thick, it doesn't tend to hold moisture in very well. And the seals on them aren't always that great. So typically, I recommend staying away from something like this. Instead, you should look for something that's a little bit more sturdy, preferably with a latch on the front to help snug it down. This type of cigar box clearly is a full Spanish cedar creation. No plywood or funkiness of that nature inside. And while it isn't the sturdiest feeling thing, the seal on it, you hear that, is good. If it doesn't snug open on you too easily and it kind of is a little bit, not difficult to close, but requires a little bit of pressure to close completely and then latches in place, chances are you've got a really good seal on it. So this would make for an acceptable temporary humidor, or, as we shall discuss soon, a good box for dry boxing your stogies prior to smoking. As for the next cigar box to consider, there's something about it to maybe not, I wouldn't say beware of, but to be aware of, is its size. A lot of cigar boxes pack, like it says right here, 10 torpedoes. So you can only fit 10 sticks. And while it does have a great seal on it, you got some limited real estate in there. So if you're planning on stocking more than 10 sticks at a time and still have room for some form of humidification indoors, you may not want to go with a slimmer cigar box, even though this one is quite sleek looking and has one hell of a seal. This leads us to what I consider to be, and many others as well, consider to be the best option for turning a cigar box into a cigar humidor. And that is the limited edition cigar box. This is an H. Upmann unit that I got, almost 20 years ago when I worked at a cigar shop in college. And this sucker has one hell of a significantly strong seal. And not just that, it's beautiful. It's multi-tiered, 3 tiers in it, and it just stacks in the stogies. I was able to fit, on average, close to 30 sticks in here any given day, plus, a humidification stick and whatever else I needed, cedar spills and what have you, no problem. And yes, it's not the biggest thing on the shelf, but it's got this nice felt bottom on it, and it's got external hinges so it seals up nice and tight. It's just a really good little makeshift humidor, which in my case wasn't very makeshift. Again, it was almost 20 years of using this sucker as a humidor. This leads us to our final topic of discussion, and that is the act of dry boxing cigars. I won't get too deep into the details because we've covered this to hell and back over here at Claro, but note that because the ambient air temperature and humidity level on planet Earth tend to fluctuate a bit, and the temps and humidity levels within a cigar box or humidor often stay pretty even keel, or at least should stay even keel. Taking a stogie out and firing it right up without some form of decompression chamber being utilized along the way can result in an exploding cigar, an unevenly burning cigar, a plugged cigar. A whole bunch of different mishaps can occur. This is why dry boxing is so important, especially if you live in an environment that has, some pretty significant seasonal changes. This is what I'm currently using, and this is a Macanudo Flint Knoll State Reserve collection. And while I only have one of the cigars in there at this point, everything else fits beautifully, and it's got a little ribbon for pulling out individual sticks as I go. They're each compartmentalized, and while there is no humidification in this cigar box / humidor at the moment, it's got a great seal, and so all of that humidity that is absorbed within these cigars can slowly but surely dissipate as this wood absorbs it. Remember, Spanish cedar, which almost all humidors and cigar boxes are made of, is a porous material. So it's a give and take sort of thing. So at this point, it's sucking out a little bit of that humidity out of these cigars and acclimating them to the environment that they're in right now, which is where they'll get smoked here in a few days. Still unsure as to which one to select and why? Well, maybe go talk to your local brick and mortar or contact us here at Claro Cigars, because, we've got a whole bunch of these things floating around, and some of them we might sell, some of them we might give away, but you never know until you ask. So no matter what size or cigar box style or shape you opt for, just make sure that it is made from a little bit thicker wood and has a pretty tight seal on it, because if it doesn't, you might just be throwing a few cigars in the trash if you're not careful.